and welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the magic power you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To have your dream analyzed on my show, go to dream-analysis.com, fill in the form and submit your dream to the show. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I will take it from there, including the dreams that I'm going to do just now. I do want to also say, I keep promising this new program that's coming out, and it's definitely going to be released in the next couple of weeks. So if you're not already on my list, go to dream-analysis.com. If you download my dictionary, that'll put you on the list. Also gives you a dictionary where you can look up the symbols of the meaning of symbols in your own dreams. So it's a twofer. But anyway, the first dream comes from, let me just make sure the name she said I could use, comes from Estelle. And she says, I don't know the woman in the dream well, but we follow each other on Instagram. That's great, because we both left a fundamentalist church. Isn't it amazing how much that comes up? And it's very much an American thing, people leaving churches or cults and so on. Anyway, what I know about her is that she's divorced and her kids live with her husband. Let's see what else. She talks about other good things, that she's still involved in her kids' lives. Constantly getting new tattoos, has blonde hair. Don't want to give away too much here. But so skipping forward, you say she seems to live her life very outwardly and dramatically compared to mine. And I think I'm especially interested in the divorce part, though, because I often consider whether or not that's the next step for my relationship. And it's, of course, why do we dream of people, other people in our dreams at all? Why do we dream of friends or whoever, even people we only barely know? We dream of them because there's some trait that they have or something they've done that we're being told, you know, you've got the courage to do this. Or if they're very confident, then you're being told you need to develop your confidence. If it's something that's negative about a person, and it's not, because you don't mention any negatives about this person, then it's like whatever they have that's negative that holds them back, you're being told you've got that and you need to let go of it. So here, it's definitely a positive aspect of this person, and it's already on your mind what it is. So let's have a look at your dream. You say, a woman from my former church community was getting a tattoo. It was red-orange, and it was of a pizza slice inside of a circle on her chest over her heart. Okay, well, so then this is about something to do with your heart. And the pizza slice, I like that. It tells us that you are a spiritual healer. You have the ability to channel energy through your body, through your hands, and into other people, into clients. And we get that because of the food. And so this is part of your calling. It's inked on you. Now it's this other person in the dream, but that's what it means. And then it's put in a circle on her chest. So this is saying, okay, the dream is about you following your heart and realizing that you have many goals in your heart. So if you imagine this pizza slice, it's like the old Trivial Pursuit game where you had this circle and you put all these little triangular pieces into the circle. When you filled it up with 6, I think it was, you won the game. That's what this is about, that you achieving all the different pieces. It's not just about doing one thing. You're meant to follow everything that's in your heart. And it's good. Anyway, you say she was talking about jumping off a cliff called the plunge with a capital P. Well, isn't that it? You know, we see this from time to time in dreams. Somebody say doing this, like jumping off a cliff, or jumping over a ravine where they could have fallen down, but they make it to the other side. And it's really what the dream is saying straight out is you need to take a leap of faith. And in your dream, of course, it's like in reality, sorry, you would also be saying, do I need to take the plunge? People will say that about getting into marriage and also getting out of marriage. Anyway, and I wondered to myself why anybody would do that, and that I can certainly find enough stimulation in ordinary things and not have to do anything so intense. Well, yeah, you wish. It's a bit kind of like you're trying to convince yourself that there's enough stimulation and happiness in your life now that you don't need to do that. Now, dreams exaggerate. The dream isn't saying you need to do all the things she's done, but it is definitely saying that the divorce is something that's on the cards for you. I went to the cliff with her. The cliff was U-shaped with a waterfall rushing down and filled with fog and mist, so you couldn't see the sides or bottom. I wondered how people knew it was safe to jump there. And then I told myself it must be safe since people do it. So the fog, not being able to see the bottom, is like, okay, if I take this leap of faith, I can't see where it's going to take me. Well, a leap of faith is fine because it's the faith you're testing. But it's like if I take this jump, take this leap, I don't know where it's going to take me. And that's true. You do not know where it's going to take you. But it's going to take you somewhere good because of the way it's shown up in the dream. You're going to learn about yourself in the process. You're going to free yourself. You're going to be following your heart. That's what it's all about, at least in this context. Anyway, so you're looking for the safety, and that's something you need to overcome. And that's one of the things you're going to learn about yourself when you do this, is that you don't need to play it safe, and playing it small or holding yourself back in life is really not living a life at all. And then I told myself it must be safe since people do it. Then she jumped, and I was simultaneously in her body and observing. She/I took a video on her phone on the way down. So isn't that interesting? I always say everybody in a dream is an aspect of you. So everybody in the dream is you, first rule of interpretation. And here you are looking at somebody doing it and then also realizing, well, this is really about me, which is perfect. And then you're taking this video, and I can still feel the butterflies feeling I got on the way down. I don't remember landing in water, but nevertheless, we were now separate people. We were in the bottom walking around. It was dark down there. We decided to leave because there was a threatening man down there that would turn off the lights and hurt women, presumably. Okay, so this isn't about your husband. It isn't saying, well, it is, but it's not saying he's going to hurt people. It's like an emotional hurt. But it's really what it's doing is it's drawing a picture just to say, hey, there's a man you need to get away from. And that's the point of this part of the dream. You continuing on the last little bit, you say, we left and walked back up a trail. I think it was through green moss, no trees, but I don't know if my mind added the green part in afterwards. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. And you called it the plunge. But so that's what it is. Two different things. It's take a leap of faith, and then having to get away from a man. And then you say that the person in the dream, the big thing that comes to mind for you about her is that she's divorced. Very clearly what the dream is saying. Don't know whether that's good news or bad news for you, but relationships, our life here is all about spiritual growth. It's the only thing we get to take with us when we go. So it's playing it small, staying back and putting up with things is not helping you grow in any way whatsoever. And when you get into that stage in a relationship, or whatever the reason is that there's no spiritual growth, then your dreams are going to say you need to leave this relationship. And the leaving it, it's not like, okay, leave it and then you can start growing again. The leaving it is the growth. That's the obstacle for you, because it's not easy, of course, but you are going to learn about yourself, and you're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to empower yourself by taking that leap of faith. Quite good. So here we have another dream from Anna. Now this one is I've kind of mixed it up on my page here, so bear with me. She says, Michael, the day before I had this dream, I was feeling ill at ease from another dream, and I had a session with Heidi, your daughter, and she said I was picking up karma. Then I had this dream, and it has karma all over it. I felt relieved about what Heidi had told me because it made sense, and was a little surprised to have a dream that seemed even worse. And it makes me wonder if there's something else going on besides what Heidi picked up. I get the gist of the dream, but I'm not sure of the significance of hitting someone with my car and seeing their hands/arms on the back windshield. Okay, so she did tell me more because I wrote to her and I said, well, what went on? What did Heidi pick up? She said, you're picking up karma, or on the verge of picking it up, because you are having feelings for someone, but you are shutting them down. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go into the dream. My mom and I, you call it driving in the dark. So this is the same as the fog in the last dream. So driving in the dark is about achieving a goal or trying to achieve a goal, but you don't know where you're going because you can't see where you're going because you're in the dark. My mom and I were going to drive each other's cars, so I drove her black Camaro. And now that tells us straight away that you have a hands-on healing ability, because a Camaro is a muscle car. Um, and also, because you're going to drive your mom's car, it's saying that its influence from your mom is causing you to do the wrong thing, to pursue the wrong goal, or be fearful even about pursuing goals, because you're getting into a black car. And black in a dream is about fears, hatred, resentment, guilt, that sort of thing. But fear would be the key word for it. Anyway, she came with me and was in the passenger seat. I was driving uphill. Okay, so a little bit of a struggle now. And you're in the passenger seat. Are you driving or not driving? So I'm assuming you're not driving. So again, it's not good, because you're going in the direction your mom wants you to go to. Now, dreams aren't about, hey, don't ever listen to your mom or dad, but it's saying, hey, there's something going on where you're being negatively influenced, and this is definitely a negative influence by your mom. So you're going in the wrong direction because of that influence. Or you're making choices going in directions that are based on fear. Just knowing that it can be enough, because you can be like, okay, what if I wasn't afraid? What would I do then about this relationship? Would I commit to this relationship? And the answer is going to be yes. Anyway, it was raining. It was impossible to see. The rain is really good in a dream. Rain is about life, letting life in. Usually we don't like it in a dream, but it is good. All of a sudden, she was freaked out, and she said, "Get us out of here." I didn't know what was going on, but then I saw someone's arms and hands on the back windshield. I realized I must have hit someone, seemed like a male, and that he was still on the back of the car. We kept driving. Oh my God. I hope you wouldn't do this in reality. Just kidding, of course. So it's like you hit a point, and that's what hitting the guy is about. So you met this guy, you like this guy, and you're shutting him down. Okay, so that's what hitting this guy is in the dream. An accident or a thing like that in a dream is really just marks a point in life that when you look at, you're like, am I doing the wrong thing or the right thing? And you feel it's the wrong thing, which is why you feel you hit him. Anyway, she was freaked out and said, get us out of here. So that's about you being freaked out and getting out of here and getting away from the guy. But why is it mom in the dream that's freaked out? Because that's mom's influence. So there's something about relationships. The way mom has influenced you affects your clarity in relationships. Because remember, you're in the dark in this dream. And then you say, repeat this. I saw someone's arms and hands on the back windshield. So the hands, again, are about your spiritual healing ability. So you've got that. That's showing up in the dream. Why does it show up? It shows up because the intention is to use your own gift to heal you of the fact that you feel you need to get away from this guy. But the arms part are about embracing life and embracing him even. And so you still have the opportunity for that. That's what you need to do instead of running away from it. We kept driving. I think she was yelling at me the entire time. Then we picked up my dad. I was driving up a really steep hill. So mom and dad now are in the dream. So our first experience of relationships is by looking at our parents. And if their relationship is kind of bizarre, then we think that's the way relationships are. And we're like, I don't want a relationship like that. And we run from everybody who gets close because it's like, I know where they go because I've seen a relationship and it wasn't good. Anyway, you get the point. I was driving up a really steep hill. There was a lot of water on the ground and there was a car that was almost fully immersed in the water. My mom was trying to hurt me, but what she was doing was also tickling me. I was biting her fingers to try get her to stop. Okay, so this is all about, you needing to let go of the pain, like mom trying to hurt you, let go of the pain from the past and influence of mom, just in this regard around this guy. And the car fully immersed in the water. So it's like you need to get into life. And that's what it's all about. And that's what the rain in the dream is about. So get into life, like enjoy life. It's funny. Our guides are like, you need to enjoy everything. Like when you're depressed, it's like enjoy the depression. When you're angry, like enjoy the fact that you're angry. Just enjoy the fact that you're able to feel all these different feelings. Isn't it amazing? You're alive. Every one of these feelings tells you that you're alive and you're able to feel. And so we feel fears and we feel other things, and it's like that's amazing. They're thrilled with all that because they look what you're learning about yourself, that you have this fear, you have this whatever. Anyway, so here it's you trying to get away from this guy is you trying to get away from the pain and issues that you have with mom. So if you can kind of like put them completely to the side, I know it sounds impossible to do, but sometimes when it's very, very strong, it's actually easier to lift it up and say, okay, I know what all that is. I'm just going to push it over to the side. What would I do if that wasn't the case? If I was to look at this guy and say, this is all going to work out absolutely perfectly, and I don't know anything about relationships, I'm going to pretend, what would I do? And that's what you need to do. What else have we got? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I was talking about the water. Yeah. So when, excuse me. So when things are coming in, when it's too much, you can feel like you're going to drown, that life is overwhelming. And mom's influence gets you to that state in this regard. So thank you for the dream. So here we have a dream from Danielle, and she sent me 2 dreams. And her first one is, she says, while I have been an avid dreamer, there is one dream that still haunts me to this day, since I was a young child. And she says age 4 later on. I have had this dream of being tickled to death off and on through my life. Isn't that terrible? The version I always had as a child was me sitting on my parents' bed during the daytime. Everything in the room is crystal clear. All of a sudden, my childhood stuffed animal teddy bear is tickling me. The tickling felt like pure torture, tickling me everywhere. I couldn't go anywhere or escape the tickling, no matter how hard I tried. Feeling trapped, I would struggle to wake myself up in the dream. This dream started around age 4. The adult version is a little different. I'm in my bed in the dream and aware that I'm sleeping. All of a sudden, something is crawling at my back, which feels like tickling. I have to work really hard to wake myself up in the dream to stop this awful feeling. Luckily, I've had this dream less and less as I get older, but it's one I never forgot. While the whole situation sounds funny, it's extremely haunting and torturous for me. And Danielle is 27. This scenario of, well, first of all, it's interesting. The younger you are, the more horrific your dreams can be. And children get killed in their dreams frequently. And as adults, we don't usually get killed in our dreams. So much so that we forget that our older dreams, we get killed all the time. And so when you hear a child's dream, you can think, oh, there's something major wrong because they're getting killed. Totally normal in a kid's dream. So here you're getting tickled to death as a kid, but as an adult, you're having to wake yourself up. But anyway, this scenario is very typical of somebody who's a channel. So what happens is you're able to communicate with spirits, and spirits on the spirit plane, on the astral plane, can see you, and they know that you can hear them. Now, you may have obscured that ability briefly, but they know that they're able to get through to you. And so you attract them. And you have these kind of battles where you don't want them near you, especially when you're moving back into your body and becoming more conscious. And it shows up like this. And this sense of terror, there's usually an enormous sense of terror and always a sense of pressure as well. And basically it's pressure at whatever chakra they're trying to use to make the communication happen. So what I would say, what will completely stop this for you is learn how to channel. Then you won't have these dreams anymore, because part of learning how to channel teaches you how to control the apparatus, let's say, that allows you make the connection. Yeah, let's move on to your next dream. And that's why I've put both in here. And your next dream, what did you call it? You called it flying on the beach with 2 friends who passed. You say, I have 2 best friends who passed away. One did a few years ago and the other just recently. And that's quite amazing at age 27. Both were 2 friends I thought of as family and always thought we'd be in each other's lives forever. One night, a couple of months ago, I had a dream. I was on a beautiful beach like one in the Bahamas. The water was turquoise, bright blue, shiny and calm. So beaches are about spiritual approach. The ocean is about spirituality. So this is about your spiritual gifts. The sky was bright and the sun was out, so this is really good. The sand was golden color, so that's a healing thing, like the muscle car in the last dream. I walked up to a hotel type building and noticed that I was then at a level of the hotel that had an awesome view. So hotels are about your reception at birth. Well, they're about your birth, but this is positive because you go up to a high level in the hotel. So it's about your spiritual side as well. So any of these things, the water, the beach, or the high level in the hotel would tell us this dream is about your spiritual side or a spiritual gift. And so why bring you back there? It's to show you that you brought this gift with you. What gift? I'll tell you in a second. I thought, wow, this is so relaxing. All of a sudden, my two best friends who had passed away were there. Now, two always shows up for people who are channels, but these are deceased people. So you're talking to spirits, and that's what a channel does, or at least you're visiting them. They were then showing me how to fly. And I've said many times in the dream, on the show, flying with guides in a dream says that it tells you that you're able to channel. But basically, you're able to raise your vibration up to the spirit world. And that's what you're doing by meeting your two friends. I'm not saying that these people are guides, but they're going to help you raise your vibration. And obviously, communicating with them is something that you would really love to be able to do. And you're probably very correct that they are going to be you are going to be in each other's lives forever. Just because they've passed on does not mean that they're not going to help you, and they're still friends with you. They told me they would show me. There were whatever I got. Two friends who passed away were there. They were then showing me how to fly. They told me they would show me this on one on either side of me, taking my hand first and showing me how to fly. We were flying together above the beach. We didn't travel anywhere specific from what I remember, but just stayed near the beach. We were flying fast. I didn't feel afraid while flying, although I'm afraid of heights, and enjoyed the view of the beach from above, and especially the time I was spending with my two friends. They were not saying much to me, but I felt they were there. Well, of course they were. I didn't see a physical body of my friends, but knew it was them. I was having so much fun and felt so free. When I woke up, I felt amazing and alive and like I just got back from a trip. I haven't had a dream like this one before. I always think about how amazing I felt during the dream and wish I would have another like it. And of course, this is about you raising your vibration because that's what flying is about. They weren't physically present, just like you say in the dream, because you didn't see them. You just knew it was them and they were there. So you're able to raise your vibration, go to the spirit plane, go to the astral plane and communicate with spirits and then bring that information back. So right now it's just about raising the vibration. Don't worry about the fact that they didn't speak. That's going to come in time. In fact, that's part of my new program, teaching people how to channel. But it's a lovely dream. I love how you felt about it afterwards. So that's the feeling you're going to get. It's really encouraging you to make the connection, make the jump to channeling. Yeah. And so I'm going to jump very quickly to this one because I'm looking at the time. And it may be our last one. This one comes from Judy. She says, the last time I sent you a dream about a library in which I wasn't allowed to take 2 books from a library, although I have been allowed to before, you said it was an indication that I shouldn't access Akashic records in this lifetime. Is this dream about uncooperative librarians, that's the one I'm going to read out now, also about the Akashic records or something else? And I do remember that dream. And it was that you had access to the Akashic records in a former life. And in this lifetime, you're able to do it. You've learned how to do it. But the dream was saying, don't do it because you'll get karma. But you can, of course, channel and ask your guides to access anything that they need or that you need from the Akashic records because they will be selective and they won't interfere. But yeah, so this dream, she says, I was sitting on a bench outside some kind of assembly hall and I was almost crying. I felt like I was about to have a nervous breakdown and I couldn't afford that now. I needed help. So I went to the library to find a doctor's phone number. There were lots of directories and I asked for a librarian's help. He started to try find something but came back and refused to help. He had clearly been instructed not to. I was upset and I said something about them not helping me when I needed a psychiatrist. And you titled it, No Help at the Library. Well, Judy, this one is different. And so really what's going on in your life right now? And I wrote to you before the show, but it was only today, so I didn't get a reply. But this dream is about you being hard on yourself. And we know that because you're sitting on a bench. And because you're outside an assembly hall, which is, for public events and talks and so on, do you feel excluded from something or not listened to in a public way right now? That's a question I would have. And now from the dream we can tell you've got counseling skills, and that's what the libraries in your dreams represent. But to get that, you have had to live a life where you felt you were looking at life from the outside, not really part of the club. So this will be an easy feeling for you to fall back into, especially when you begin to speak up, which is most likely what you're doing now because of the assembly hall in the dream. So it's like you push yourself and say, hey, everybody, listen to me. But a disagreement to you can feel like absolute rejection because of your childhood. Like you are extremely sensitive, and that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. And rejection to you feels very, very raw. And most people can just shrug it off as a difference of opinion or thinking the other person is an idiot along those lines. But I'm really just making a point here, not trying to be nail on the head accurate when it comes to how other people shrug it off. But people who are counselors and people who felt like life, they weren't accepted into life. When they start to speak up, they can feel this massive rejection when somebody really just doesn't intend it the way you pick it up. But that's because of childhood. It's not because of them. So if you're in that state and feel like someone has to help you, let's say, for the world or a specific person to prove you are loved, so it's like you've disagreed with me. I'm going to shut down now and I'm going to get into this state and you have to do something to prove to me that you love me. Or you even are saying to your guides, I want somebody to help me here so that the world proves to me that I'm loved. But the guide, the librarian in your dream is showing you two things. One, that he's aware you have suffered like this, where someone in authority who could have helped you didn't. And they show that just to say, this is part of what your life contract is, that this was meant to happen in your life. Yes, it seems hard, and it is. But it's part of what you needed to be influenced by. And the other thing he's showing you is that you have the skills because you can access the directories in the library to help yourself. So use your own skills to help yourself. I'll finish by saying, you are loved. This is just a dip you can get caught in. And given your skills, you are very likely very aware of this. Know you are loved because you are, by so many. And as one soul to another soul who took this crazy journey to the earth plane together because we're both idiots, I love you. And so does everyone listening to this analysis, because right now we are all on this journey together, and there are times in our lives when we realize that. Also, it's interesting, the people who push you the hardest in your life are usually the ones that love you the most. And you don't realize it at the time, but their intention is to make sure that you achieve your life purpose, and they just don't let up on you. Until next week, I'm Michael Sheridan.